Well, it's day 4. A little chilly this morning. About 8 degrees inside the tent when I woke up this morning. It's a beautiful morning though. It's gorgeous on the lake. There's mist rolling along the lake. Well, I'm cold and I'm hungry, so I think I'm going to get some nice hot breakfast and pack up and head out today. When I made my trip plan, I did it in such a way that, you know, it made a couple of smaller loops instead of one great big loop. And I suppose this is why I did that. Well, I'm all packed up and ready to go. I've tucked the last little bit of firewood underneath the bench there. If someone comes by in a week or so, that wood should still be okay. So I got to thinking about heading out today, and the weather's so nice, and well, you know where I'm going with this. I think my next night is at Booth Lake, which, depending on which end of Booth Lake I camp at, is not too much. There's not too much of a paddle. A couple of short portages. So I think I might go ahead and stay at Booth tonight. Well, I made trip 1 of 5 across the 730-meter portage from Bidle to Farm. Or is it the Farm Lake? Yeah, that's right. If this is Farm Lake, it's pretty small. Now, I think if I want to go home, I go that way. I think if I want to go to Booth, I go that way. Alright, just a quick check on the map. That little bit of a pond I see back there is not Farm Lake. Down there is Farm Lake. This is just a little piece of it. And I see that there is a small marked portage around those rapids. This here is about the only real tricky part on this whole portage. I'm going to have a bit of a challenge when I try to carry the canoe through here. Rock hopping as I go here. We got some logs, some tree roots, and this is a maintained portage, and so the park authority has been in here and they've created this little walkway here, little boardwalk. One more little hop and skip, and that's it. The rest of the portage trail looks a lot like this. Part of why I'm documenting all this in video is so that I can go through my gear and get a sense of, you know, what works for me and what hasn't worked, and, you know, what was a useless expenditure, and, you know, what could I really have, you know, what should I not have gone without. One piece of gear in particular is this little camp grill here that I got. I haven't actually used it on a fire yet because everywhere I've been I've always found something to use, but it makes a great little table, and where the real good part is once I've lashed this to the outside on my pack, it is really great for bungeeing everything else too. I'm avoiding bungeeing to these little pieces, but the main pieces, those are great. They're nice. This is a 90-meter portage. Of course, I've just made my first trip across it, so I'm looking down from where I came. I honestly considered roping the canoe through this. I wasn't going to try to paddle it, of course, but I got up real close to where the mouth is, and quite a few big boulders there, and it reminded me of the trouble I had a couple days ago. And so I figured, no, it's only 90 meters, it's a well-maintained portage, and it wouldn't be here if it wasn't needed. That ringing noise is my bear bell. It just rings, and if there is a bear nearby, we'll probably hear that. And it's a foreign sound. It's not just something walking along. And odds are, if it ever hears that, it's just going to mosey on out. I've been wearing it pretty much constantly for the past, well, since I got here. I don't know what day it is now, day 4 maybe? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, 4 days. And I don't even notice the ring anymore. I was walking around this morning, I didn't have it on. I knew something wasn't right. And I forgot to put on my ditch kit and my fanny pack. And Harlan's right, you don't even notice that when it's on either. I've had to check it a few times with my hands just to make sure it's there. So yesterday, I tested padding my yoke with my medium blue sweater that I have, and it seemed to work out well. So this morning, I put my heavy wool sweater down, and naturally that was even better. So on this portage, I duct taped it right to the yoke. Okay, so I paddled in the booth, and first I went to this site here at the end of my thumbnail, my filthy thumbnail, and the site looked pretty good, but it just got a bad vibe from it. I don't know what it was, so I left. I'm now down at this site here. Now, the site has everything that I've been looking for, and I'm still getting this creepy feeling. And this feels a lot like the feeling I had every night except my first night. So I know that it's not like setting up camp is a daunting task. I don't want to do it. It's just, now that I'm back on the ground, I just kind of feel cut off and, vulnerable. Like something's gonna get me. So I mean, a couple nights in a row now, I've wanted to go home and I don't want to do it anymore. And then once I get a fire going and sit and relax, it eases up a bit. And then in the morning I'm good. So I think I'm just gonna push through this, set up my camp, get my compass out and see if I can't get a beat on what time it is. Get some supper going. Yeah. Set my tent up here, and something I've been wanting to point out since I started here. This is a really common design of tent. It's your basic Canadian Tire $30 tent. Probably get them at Walmart too. But something that a lot of these tents have is to support the fly over the door. There's a pole that runs from a grommet here through the top to a grommet here. I will never ever put that pole in again, because I've had 3 tents now that have failed at the zipper. Where? Right here. When you put that pole in, it puts tension on the zipper, and it almost always fails. Cheeseburger, Hamburger Helper with salmon instead of hamburger. It looks kind of gross. It's not bad. This is interesting how the trees are laid out. There's a really nice mix of conifers and deciduous trees, and the deciduous ones are really easy to pick out right now because they're such a light green. They're just really coming out. But what I noticed, all the lakes that I've been on, there's this wall of conifers all on the shore, and the birch and whatnot are only just a few feet back, I suppose, but never right on the water's edge. It's all conifers. Well, okay, except for that one. From my campsite over there, I look across the water and I see this little island, a very tall island, but very small. So, and I saw all these dead trees standing here. There's lots of live ones, I suppose, but a lot more dead trees here than most places that I've seen. It almost looked like something happened here. So I thought I'd come over here because it looked like a great place for firewood. There's my canoe down there. And I think I may have found out what happened. There is a campsite down there. I can see that there is a small fire pit. We're not going all the way down there. There is a small fire pit. Looks like it hasn't been used in probably 10 or 15 years. But this is very telling right here. That is a stump with burn marks on it. So I don't know if a fire came through here. Oh, look, there's more. There's more there. And these trees here look like they have it. Looks like a fire ran up this hill. There's a piece of wood up there with it too. Well, this is all that remains of what was probably a campsite. It's just this little ring of stones with some ashes in it. Okay, I got some firewood. This island here that I thought was going to be wonderful has been picked over pretty clean, all up in there. But I found some up there that either nobody was brave enough or dumb enough to go get. And now I have to wonder, for as hard as I worked for it, could I not have found that near my campsite? So I've rebuilt my fire pit again. It's getting to be standard practice. So I'll get my campfire going. It's a bit of an irony. I had to use a flashlight just to see so I could get my fire going, because I took so long to cut the wood that it was dark by the time I started the fire. So I'm just heating up some water for tea, and something that's kind of interesting. It's hard to tell if your water's boiling when you're trying to boil water at night. So let me just see what I got here. I see, looks like we got some bubbles. I think we're good to go. So when I got here, I kind of had a weird, creepy feeling. It's gone now. I don't know what it is. I don't know what causes that. But I knew that once I got a fire going, got some food, that'd be good again. And so far I'm pretty organized too. I was able to hang my food bag on the first shot in the dark. Just had a little flashlight going. Got all my dishes done, put away. The only thing I haven't done is blow up my air mattress yet. But truthfully, I can do that whenever. It's turning out to be a good night.